Hello again.
Hi.
So we thought in this video we'd talk about what the next step for us is on this long adventure we're having.
Yeah, so the next place we are going to is...
Thailand.
Yeah, so we fly end of June and we're going to be there for just under a month because that's what we can get visa free.
Yeah, so by the time this video comes out, we'll have been there for a little, about 3-4 weeks. Hopefully we'll have plenty of content coming. But we thought we'd just kind of talk about why we chose Thailand as the next stop and what we also planned after that.
Yeah, so we've been to Thailand before, but it was one of those places that was opening from all the COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
And thankfully it's actually open now with us not needing to make any COVID tests at all. Yeah, so we chose Thailand. We've been there before, but the restrictions were easing quite a lot and it was somewhere that we know is easy to travel around. So, and we just really want to go back because we've seen a lot of content creators throughout lockdown and stuff making content over there and just really wanted to go back to Thailand.
Yeah, it's a place we've spent a couple of months there. It's a place we both really enjoy. The food's amazing, the people are fantastic. The weather is pretty great all the time except when we're going.
Yeah, we are choosing to go in rainy season, but it will still be nice and hot.
Yeah, so yeah, first port of call will be Thailand. We are getting there via Copenhagen, hopefully.
Yeah, so we fly to Copenhagen and then we fly to Bangkok and then first stop in Thailand is going to be Koh Samui.
Yeah, so we're going down to the South Islands because the weather's only going to get worse in our time that we're there. So we thought let's head down to the islands and then work our way up back to Bangkok.
Yeah, so we've been to Samui and Koh Tao before, but we're going to go to Samui and hopefully go to Koh Phangan as well. And then we haven't been to Krabi side or Khao Lak or Khao Sok, so we're going to try and make our way up via that route, to see a different side of Thailand.
And it's all very dictated by both the weather. As we say, it is rainy season, so places could be hit by really bad storms, which might adjust our plans, but also besides the kind of time frame when we have to leave the country, we have no kind of crazy plans.
No.
So if we befriend someone who's like, I'm going this way, we can be like, cool, let's go. We're allowing ourselves to be quite flexible and open, because last time we were flexible to a point, whereas this time I think we both want to go with the flow a bit more.
Yeah, so we've booked our first night on Samui and that's it, so that if the place is horrible we can change and it's just so much easier that way. So we've kind of planned out a rough route that we'll go into in a second, but it's all adaptable and changeable.
Yeah, so yeah, no, it's been 5 years since we've been to Thailand, so really cannot wait to get back. But as Alex say, we'll go through the route a bit more in detail and we'll also look at what sort of budget we'll be taking and also kind of a place where we're going after Thailand. But we'll get into it.
So the plan at the minute for Thailand is to go to Koh Samui for a few days and then go to Koh Phangan. It is not the full moon party while we're there or the half moon party, which is great for us because that is not our theme.
No.
And it means that accommodation should be dirt cheap. So we're gonna...
That's the other big thing, is like we're still trying to obviously live on a budget whilst we're there. So.
Yeah, so we're gonna try and do some diving and snorkeling while we're there, and then we're gonna go across on the ferry and a minibus to Krabi, try and see places like Aonang Beach, Maya Bay, although all of that is kind of dictated on how bad the weather is around that time, because that coast is monsoon season, so we shall see. And then we'll probably get either a minibus or a bus up to Koh Lak, which is kind of more of a bit of a surfing town, and then we're going to head into the middle of the country to Khao Sok National Park and try and stay on Choang Lake. And then we'll head back to the other coast, up a bit closer to Bangkok, and stay in Chimpom for a couple of nights, where there's some really nice local beaches. And then we might head up to Kanchanaburi for a bit and try and go to Erawan Falls because we've never been before we go back to Bangkok. And that'll be like the first time back in actually staying in Bangkok.
Yeah, we're going straight from Bangkok Airport, which is, I never remember the full name.
I'm not even going to try and pronounce it.
No, but to Samui, so we're not actually going into Bangkok to start with. Which we actually both quite like Bangkok. It's a proper lively city, but also it's like any big kind of metropolitan city, there's endless sides to it. So you can go to the fancy area, clean area, but you can also get kind of on the back streets and find some of the best food you'll ever have in your life, served by someone who only has a plastic chair outside his stall. You know,
yeah, and while we're there, the only thing we have actually got booked a tour with the Roman cook, who you can also find on YouTube.
Yeah,
which we're very excited about.
Yeah, so we get to see a bit more of the tour, which is not something we normally do. Kind of normally just figure it out, but we thought we've enjoyed his content whilst in lockdown, and we thought this way we actually get to
treat ourselves at the end of our Thailand month.
Do some of some really good Thai food. So yeah, as I said, we have quite a strict budget.
Yeah, so we have an amount saved for the general next 18 months, and we've kind of just divided that by the amount of months.
It's a rough guide.
So kind of for each month that we're going to be away somewhere, we've got about £950, which kind of works out, if we divide it by 3, to about £300 a month for food, 300 for transport / activities, and then 300 for accommodation, which is way more doable in places like Thailand, thankfully.
Yeah.
That amount is between us though, both, so it is still quite tight.
Yeah, so you see a lot of people say that they're doing something on a shoestring, and that's normally $1,000 a month seems to be, or £1,000 seems to be kind of the shoestring budget. Now we're obviously kind of doing that between us.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be you have to be conscious of what you're spending money on, and it's not allowing yourselves to have cheap beers every night, because cheap beers every night ends up being expensive beers.
Yeah, and not a lot of Western food.
No,
which is always more expensive.
Yeah,
not our scene.
Which is not something we're kind of that fussed by. So after our month in Thailand, we've actually got our next place booked, which is another house sit for us, and we're actually going to go back to Malaysia.
Yeah, so we've got a house sit for a month in Seremban, which is about an hour below Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
As you said, we don't really have a set route for where we want to go when we travel. Just kind of anywhere that's interesting, and we couldn't really turn down a month in somewhere that was going to be that nice. So.
No, and it's somewhere we've never been. We've been to Malaysia, but we've never been to Seremban specifically. The couple seem to be a really nice Canadian couple with an older dog, so we're going to go look after that. From there, we don't have anything kind of set in stone, which is kind of rather exciting.
Yeah, so we've got places that we'd quite like to go, like we both quite like to go to South Korea, and then eventually work our way to New Zealand to buy a van and tour around in a van for a few months.
Yeah, we actually had planned to work in New Zealand for a couple of years before the pandemic, and had gone through as far as applying for the visa, which is still ongoing, which is surprising. As UK citizens, we're allowed 6 months in New Zealand, so we thought if we aim to go there for kind of our kind of autumn time, that goes into their spring, summer, and then their autumn.
Yeah, it means the weather's nicer, and we also get the shoulder season for buying a van before everyone's there for the summer. Yeah.
So it's all very changeable. So if we see a cheap flight somewhere, see a flight that says that you can go to the Philippines for $10, then you might end up going to the Philippines.
Yeah.
Or same with anywhere. Quite an exciting way to travel that we didn't do last time. It was a bit more structured and regimented last time.
Yeah, I mean, kind of COVID's taught us that you have to be flexible. You can plan as much as you like, but it's not necessarily a good thing to have it all set in stone, because you can't get your money back that way.
No. So so after that, after New Zealand, we are thinking about doing Central and South America to some extent. How much and where, we're not sure, obviously, because we'll be going into their winter, so we can't go too far south, otherwise we'll be bogged down by kind of, quite bad weather. But it'd be nice to go see that part of the world, because it's something we've kind of experienced separately, but we've not been to together. And then the only other main thing we have is we have tickets to the Rugby World Cup in France next year. That is September, October time. So we know we have to come back to the UK / then go into France for that. But what we intend to potentially do is buy another motorbike whilst we're in the UK, different style, so kind of have a different trip, and then spend another 3 months in Europe from that point.
Yeah, doing more like Southern Europe, so the weather's nice.
Yeah, so try and
places that we didn't get to
go to Italy and Croatia, and we'll obviously be going to the south of France. So we could potentially go into Spain or Portugal even. We have these kind of options. It's all very flexible. So if anyone has any recommendations, it'd be great to hear them. But that is for next year. So yeah.
Yeah, or if anyone wants to put us up.
Yeah.
Couch surfing style.
Or join us on the road.
Yeah.
We're up for it.
So yeah, that's just a bit about our plans for upcoming months, and hope you enjoyed this video.
Yeah. So the next video, we're going to try and do one whilst we're traveling to Thailand. So you kind of come along with the ride for us, because at the moment there's been a lot of air issues, shall we say, at airports. So we'll be interested to see how far we get because we have 3 flights that are unconnected. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Although we are planning to fly with only hand luggage. We went from having a big bag and a small bag last time to now, so we just have 1 bag. It's just whether we can get it under the weight limit to kind of, you know, make that easy enough, which it shouldn't be too bad. It's just when you're carrying cameras, tripods, laptops, it does tend to add up more than my clothes do. But yeah, so we have plenty more exciting things to come. And this was just kind of what felt like a huge project now feels like kind of distant past. And we look forward to bringing you along for the next ride. So yeah, if you've been enjoying the videos, please subscribe and, you know, click the like button. Feel free to add some comments. We're always up for a chat. We also have a website which Alex actually does the writing on as a more detailed breakdown of everything that we've been doing. So it's a really good way to kind of follow along if you want more details about specific places we're going, specific places we've been. It's a really good kind of repository for looking back and going, oh, where was this, you know, coffee shop in Denmark that they went to? It's on there. So yeah.
Follow along live on Facebook. That's where we update everything.
Yeah, Facebook. We also on Instagram. We try and keep everything up to date. But yeah, we hope you're enjoying, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you from Thailand.